I am with you. As I go to Gautam Barua, let me remind you that, gentlemen, I'm only trying to look at it from the point of view of a student who is caught in the middle of this turf battle. We can call it by any other name. The child is caught in the middle of a turf battle. And I know that ask anyone, they'll say that at this stage of examination, every day counts. And that child doesn't know what he is going to be preparing for next year. I just feel bad for that student. Gautam Barua, yes.
I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you completely, Arnab, that this indecision is not at all good. I'd also like to say that, the Bala just said that the decision of the council has to be now decided by the Senate. There are issues of, the IIT council consists of not just IIT directors and chairmen of IIT boards. It consists of very eminent educationists. It consists of the chairman UGC, chairman AICT. It consists of the secretary DST, secretary DIT, DG CSIR. There are a whole lot of people there. Now, once they have taken the input from 7 senates, they have seen one end to the other and come up with a compromise formula, which hopefully would have met everybody's requirements. Now to find that the Senate...
Sir, I'm sorry. Sir, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. You're talking about this being very... Sir, I'm sorry, but you're saying... Sir, you're saying this is very representative because you are among one of the 4 IITs whose members of Senates, along with Kharagpur, Madras and Roorkee, are represented. Now, I am saying forget it. Even the other IITs are not represented. Where is the student representation? Who is representing the students on this?
No, sir, that is not the point.
Why does the student not have a point of view?
Not that a question.
Well, why does the student not have a point of view? There is a student out there, and I can tell you, there's a student out there who's saying, I don't want to prepare for IIT. I want to prepare for AIEEE.
No,
I want to focus more on my CBSE exam and give AIEEE. But now what's going to happen is that I am not with this one nation, one exam policy. We may risk the careers of students and give them less choice.
The NIT directors want the students to take the second exam too. You have to ask the NIT directors, bring them to the panel and ask them why they want this.
Kanpur is rebutting.
Not us, not me.
Somnath Biswas, I saw him raise his hand. Somnath Biswas and A.K. Chaturvedi. I think they want to come into the debate.
Quick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There are 2 quick points. First of all, nobody is disagreeing that school board marks in some way needs to be taken into account. But currently the problem is the way it is being done. It is full of, I can say, errors. And actually the percentile thing which has been mooted by their own expert committee, ISI committee, they had suggested certain things to be done. This has not yet been done. This is being implemented in a hurry. And I would like to ask everybody that however lofty be the goals, if a design is faulty, if you have not validated it, can you go ahead and deploy it? That's point number 1. Just one quick point about IITs being, you are seeing this division amongst IITs. So again, this is not really our doing. The idea was, we were told, in fact it was promised, that before the final decision would be made, all the Senate inputs, or actually 2 people from each Senate will be invited.
Sir,
and they will give their points of view in the council. Only then the final decision will be taken.
Sir,
so you see that our input was not taken.
Professor, may I intervene?
Go ahead.
I have a very simple question.
Yeah.
I don't know how times have changed, right? But when we were in class 12, there were students who were doing physics and science and who were then at that point of time preparing for the IIT exam. And you see, sir, now it may sound very simple. There were the IIT types and there were the non-IIT types. And the IIT types, they studied a slightly different, they prepared differently. And so over the years, my question to you is, has a certain kind of IIT elitism, Professor Barua is already disagreeing, has a certain kind of IIT elitism crept in, whereby not only are IITs, considered for their high level of difficulty, different kind of questioning for which a student needs to prepare differently, and hence you burden the student with having to compete for a class 12 exam and for an IIT paper. Is this about maintaining the exclusivity of the IITs, sir? Is this about maintaining exclusivity of IITs? My question is to Kanpur and to Delhi.
Okay. So let me very quickly tell you that our job, in fact it is mandated, if the best students wish to come, 10,000 students out of 5 lakhs, which really means one student in 50 we need to choose. So we have to say, and not only choose these 10,000 students, we need to rank them to decide what will be their departments. So please, you talk of, France, there are these ENS, École Normale system. There again the entrance examination is considered hard. You go to their website, they will tell you it's a tough exam.
Mohandas Pai has been wanting to come in. Mr. Pai.
Arnab, but the
Arnab, from press reports is clear that the design of the scheme is such that you are not compelled to sit for the second examination. Even if you get 0 in the second examination, you can still go to the NITs, other institutions. But the second examination ranking will determine your ability to get into the IIT. So the standard 12
You're
and
saying
the first examination.
Sir, you have a rebut from Kanpur.
That's what the design.
We have 3 minutes on the debate. Please,
so
hear the
I
other
don't know
side.
why they're objecting.
Both our professors from Kanpur are disagreeing with you. Yes, go ahead.
Arnab, your audience is not of a very technical nature. Let them understand that stress will increase. Let them understand that coaching will have a bigger market.
Arnab,
Let
how
them
can the stress
understand that
increase?
alienation of students from schools will increase. These are fundamental issues that your audience will understand.
How?
If you want a technical debate,
How does it happen, Arnab?
How
can stress increase if you take one examination? You don't have to take the second examination if you get less marks. You still try for the NITs. You don't have to go to the IITs.
Today the student is worried.
No, I mean what Mr. Pai said is kind of dangerous. You know that, I mean, let's say we take 40,000 students into NITs, right? And now these 40,000 students, they give one exam for which about 25% or 30% weightage will be there. And we are saying, and I think it is callous to say, that let the exam be such that even if they get 0 in it, it is all right. What is going to do to their self-esteem? No, if you have a second exam which is to be mandated, please let me finish. In that case, the exam should be meaningful for all the people who are chosen into the system, IIT plus NIIT. We cannot say that go ahead and give them 0.
Somnath,
no, that's not acceptable.
I have told you the issue.
Yeah.
So 1 minute, we are getting a rebut from Guwahati. Yes, Guwahati.
Yes, sir. I think, see, if you look at what we are discussing, we are talking about technicalities. Everyone is saying that this is bad, this is good. But let's take a slightly higher level view of things. That there is an attempt to change the current system of admissions.
Why?
Now, whether this system would be being proposed is the best.
So you change when.
So
you change when there's a problem. Is there a problem? Is there a problem? Are you getting bad students in the IITs? Are you getting undeserving students in the IITs?
No, sir.
Have the students of IITs disgraced the nation?
That is not the point.
No.
Definitely, there's not enough time to tell you about why we need a change.
Sir,
I just don't have the time to tell you.
Sir, I'm asking you tonight, you are in Guwahati.
I have been involved in for many years.
Sir, you are in Guwahati. Tell me, do deserving students from Guwahati not get through IITs? From Guwahati, why Guwahati?
See,
from farther parts of the country.
I can't answer this question. How will I know? Sir, how do I know? I do not know.
So good students. No, I'm saying good students are getting through from everywhere.
Exam.
No, good students are getting through. Why meddle with the system?
That is what we want to say, that there is an issue. We have discussed this in over many hours. Sir. I can't tell you in 5 minutes what are the problems with the current system.
No.
We are trying to make a change.
Yes.
May not be the best.
Sir,
but there is a need for a change.
Sir, yes, but
and we are doing something. If we fail, we'll get back next year.
No, sure, but you can get back next year. What happens to the student? He doesn't have a second chance. The student going through in 2013 doesn't get a second chance.
That's what I want to tell you. There is going to be no drastic difference. If you look at the various things I've written, you can look at the internet, you can see the blogs, you can see the arithmetic of what happens when you take the board marks as percentile ranks. There are a whole
I can tell you, gentlemen, as we are having the debate in New York, Kapil Sibal has just given a statement. It seems conciliatory. He seems to be taking a second thought. He's saying, I don't want to infringe on their autonomy. I am ready for talks if anybody says autonomy jeopardized. So it's a bit of a success here for our professors from Delhi and Kanpur today. Professor Balakrishnan.
See, one.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
In the discussion that happened in our Senate, one thing that was expressed very widely is, once we change over from the system of subjective to objective examination, definitely there has been some impact on the nature and the quality of students who have been joining. So previously, with the number of students increasing, IIT system could not afford to conduct an examination for a very large number of students, a subjective examination, and correct them in time so that they are able to actually be admitted in the session that starting sometime in July, late July. So it was, at that time, it was actually changeover, the system changeover. So at this point in time, some IITs, actually not only IIT Delhi and IIT Kanpur, many of the other senates also actually found this as a good opportunity, a common testing ground. You see, IITs could not force the boards to give a percentile. We welcome this move. Actually the Senate, when they are actually previously also, it is not that the board exams are completely ignored. IIT still requires 60% marks in the board to be able to actually be admitted into the IIT system. But previously, with no availability of percentile score across the system, it was not possible to strengthen it. The fact that the MHRD wants to strengthen the board exam is actually not being opposed by, I don't think anybody is really opposing that. That's a positive step. That school system is being strengthened. But the point is, if the Senate of an institution wants to admit the best students that it can get into the system, I do not think that one should be blaming the Senate.
We are going to follow up with Kapil Sibal.
Telling you all this, it all depends upon, finally I am sure consensus will emerge, but this all depends upon how we move forward.
I hope so, but at the end of the day, chicken and egg situation, what do you change? Do we have a homogeneous education system in India that we want to have a homogeneous entrance exam for engineering tests? Do they teach science and physics in the same way in Rajasthan as they teach in Guwahati, as they teach in Kerala and all over the country? Are there nuanced differences in the approach in different parts of the country? Does one exam, one day policy appreciate the heterogeneity which still exists in the Indian education system? Because after all, at the end of the day, beyond the tough battles between very important people, it's about the student. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you.